In the beginning, the heavens shone with pure light, an endless firmament of cloud and radiance, home to angels majestic and glorious. Vast tiers of cherubim and seraphim moved in ordered splendor, their voices like a chorus of living light. Among them there stood one peerless being, Lucifer, the shining star, the most magnificent of all created beings. His beauty was dazzling, his wisdom profound. Even the raiment of heaven seemed to bend toward his brilliance. Yet in that perfect realm, where praise and harmony reigned, something fragile took root. Pride, a small whisper that would grow into a consuming flame. It began in admiration and turned inward, changing perception and purpose. The Bible describes Lucifer as beautiful, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty, the covering cherub, a phrase echoed in Ezekiel 28 verse 12, reminding us that even the highest can fall when the heart turns away from humble worship. This is the opening of a tragedy, the rise of splendor, the first stirrings of rebellion, and the story that follows will trace how light became shadow and how glory gave way to ruin. His position was exalted, placed nearest the throne of God, clothed in radiance and crowned with honor. Picture the inner courts, columns of living flame, a canopy of woven light, angels bowing in perpetual praise. Lucifer moved within this sanctuary, a leader among lights, a steward of heavenly music and visible truth. To the eye he was majestic, to the mind brilliant, to the hosts an exemplar. But beneath the outward splendor, under the praise and the pageantry, a subtle change began. Where gratitude once lived, admiration deepened into self-focus. The chambers of his heart became an echo chamber for his own greatness. Thoughts once directed to the Creator shifted to contemplation of self. A question formed, and then a longing. What if I were even more? Isaiah 14 verses 12 through 15 rings as a warning across time. How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. These words remind us that exaltation without humility is brittle. Splendid beauty can breed conceit, and the highest station can incubate the ambition that leads to a fall. From secret longing to spoken pride, the movement was swift and tragic. The declarations that would seal his fate took shape in Lucifer's heart, and then on his lips. I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly. I will make myself like the Most High. Those words, drawn from Isaiah's prophecy, are not merely lines of scripture. They breathe the very logic of rebellion. Imagine the thought process. Admiration mutated into entitlement. Service into sovereignty. Pride is not only arrogance. It is a reordering of priorities so that self becomes the ultimate center. Lucifer began to covet the worship that belonged to the Creator alone. His beauty, once a reflection of the divine, became a snare. His wisdom, once a gift for stewardship, was twisted into counsel for self-exaltation. In the privacy of the heavenly courts, he rehearsed grand visions, crowns higher, thrones loftier, a realm ruled by his name. Angels who once looked to him in awe were drawn into debate and division. Some murmured agreement, seduced by grandeur and the promise of greater place. In this way, a perfect being crossed the threshold from admiration to ambition, from loyalty to treachery. and the seeds of open revolt were sown. When private rebellion became public, the heavens themselves trembled. A celestial war erupted, a confrontation not of mere instruments, but of wills and truth. Michael, the divine Son of God in heavenly form, stood opposed to Lucifer's insurgency. Revelation 12 verse 7 describes the scene succinctly. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Visualize ranks of angels like blades of light, meeting waves of dimming shadow. Thunder of righteous judgment rolled through the firmament. Lightning split the airy courts, and choirs of faithful hosts gathered around the throne to uphold divine order. The clash was both majestic and terrible. Wings clipped against wings, voices of defiance against voices of faith, banners of truth unfurling amidst blazing comets. Angels were forced to choose, fidelity to the Creator or allegiance to the rebel. The cosmic stakes were monumental. This was not a mere quarrel, but an assault upon the very harmony of creation. As forces collided, the foundations of the visible and invisible world quivered. Though the conflict surged, the moral arc held. Rebellion could not finally overthrow the source of life and authority. Still, the victory came at great cost. Relationships rent, realms scarred, and a remnant of prideful beings cast out to begin a new, darker chapter. The consequence was decisive and dramatic. The great dragon was hurled down. The ancient serpent, called the devil or Satan, was expelled from the realms of light, accompanied by the angels who had followed his lead. The imagery is stark. A figure once luminous now collapsing through the void, trailing fragments of glory like fallen stars. The Bible captures this transformation. He was once perfect in beauty, but because of rebellion and pride, he fell from grace. Cast out from the presence of God, Lucifer, now known as Satan, plummeted through the cosmic void, a trajectory of ruin. The morning star became a symbol of lost radiance, the covering cherub, the deceiver of nations. Slow-motion visuals would show feathers and fragments of light scattering, a halo cracking, and the echoes of heavenly hymns distorting into cries of anguish. Isaiah's lament, "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn," resounds as both accusation and elegy. This fall is not merely physical, it is moral and spiritual. The expelled one carries with him the intent to oppose, to corrupt, to claim what he cannot have by right. From that moment, the battleground extends beyond heaven to the newly created earth, where deception and temptation will become the instruments of his wrath. Exiled from heaven, Satan's theater of action shifted to the earth. No longer crowned with light, he became a master of disguise, a subtle, shadowy presence able to whisper into the ear of humanity. In Eden, his skillful deceit found fertile ground. The serpent's voice, soft and persuasive, turned curiosity into doubt, and doubt into disobedience. Luke 10 verse 18 records Christ's own observation. "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven," a reminder that the war waged above has effects below. The methods of deception are familiar. Half-truths wrapped in plausible promises, appeals to self-interest, flattering suggestions that twist longing for good into cravings for autonomy. Satan's agenda is consistent: undermine trust in the Creator, derail worship, and seed unrest in the human heart. Yet his success is never absolute. Throughout Scripture and salvation history, God's faithfulness provides rescue and remedy. The Eden scene serves as prototype, where the first deception led to exile. A greater act of redemption will restore the possibility of reconciliation. Even so, the earthly conflict continues. Temptation, subtle and persistent, invites each generation to repeat the ancient error, or to choose the humble path of obedience and dependence on God. But this tragic arc does not end in despair, for God's story includes redemption. Though the rebellion began in heaven and played out on earth, divine purpose moved toward restoration through Christ. Redemption is the decisive answer to pride and rebellion. Where Lucifer sought to exalt self, God offers a path of humble service and sacrificial love. Remember, the battle that began in the celestial courts continues in our hearts and communities. Yet we are not helpless. Through faith in Jesus Christ, we are given strength, wisdom, and victory over the deceiver who fell like lightning. The same power that upheld Michael and the hosts of heaven is available to every believer who turns from pride and embraces humility. Practically, that means prayer, scripture, community, and surrender. Practices that realign the soul with the Creator and disarm the tactics of the enemy. If this message has touched or blessed you, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and ring the bell so you never miss an update of similar stories and reflections. Share this video with others who would benefit from the hope of Christ. Let the story of Lucifer's fall be a solemn reminder. Pride leads to ruin, humility to honor. Choose the path that leads to life. May your heart be a sanctuary of worship, your life a testament to the power that overcomes darkness, and your witness a light to those still wandering in confusion. Subscribe, like, and share to help spread this message of warning and hope.